Hello, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. It's me, A. Proustian, and I'm here in the middle of the trial on the second day. No, third day, second part of the trial. And let's see what happens here. So Edgeworth, looks like we've managed to stay in the game. Indeed, we have. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Ha ha ha, I'm not a detective anymore. Oh no, Gumshoe! Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office. Gumshoe? My office? Sure, I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Gumshoe, you're great, but you have a very different vibe. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Yeah, it's tough when the chief of police is your suspect because he does have a lot of institutional protection. And I think that's why Edgeworth is on our side. I mean, one, because he is trying to find the truth of the matter. And he's been, Edgeworth has been used by these people. And poor Gumshoe here, trying his best. Alright. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse testimony. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Yeah, I wonder what the specifics are. Is it just like general risk, like you might look bad, or what does it open you up to? Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma! Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. It's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Yeah, she was already being controlled. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? Oh, like to put a barrier between her and other people? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. Edgeworth, you kind of sound like you're talking about this from experience. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. Huh? I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Huh, let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Here we go. To be continued. Here we go, 2:21 p.m., courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Man, it is not going to be easy getting her to tell the truth, especially after Gant's little departing words. All right, Ms. Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Ms. Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. I don't know if that's supposed to help or not. I mean, I know it's supposed to. I don't know if it will. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Oh, Lana. You sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gant had nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? Phoenix, she is not. She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. Okay, I worked alongside Gant for years. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. How were you senior detective at 24? Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. Oh, see, now that is true. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. Right? That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago? Yeah, when I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. Yeah, she is. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Huh. Let's ask about that. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the wound and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. It's pretty extreme, though. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. And there's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Yeah, looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Okay. I think I want to see if I can ask about the, okay, back, then moved the body. See if I can ask about moving the body. And then you move the body. Yep, but why? Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. The body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Ms. Skye moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plans. Okay. Wait, let's ask about this. The pieces of the jar. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. Well, then how did Neil write Emma on it? But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. I think it must be with the jar. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Okay, so... Can I come here this? I think. Can I present the jar? Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so, and this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. It's true. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Is that a pun, Edgeworth, on the whole jar situation? Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Okay. The jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. I'm unconvinced. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. I guess we'll press her on things. Immediately notice the blood traces on the jar. So the jar was already broken. It's It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. Certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Hey! Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. It's not a very good comeback, Phoenix, but you know what? I'll allow it. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? And normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. You know what? I believe that. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I had just barely enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. I feel like the judge is easily shocked. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But she did miss one. How could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. God, how often does that come up, Emma? I never miss anything. I got every last piece. See, that's not true because most of it was in Goodman's locker, and then one piece of it was in Gant's locker, and the piece in Gant's locker had the lines that were still there. Okay, but let's press on this. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated Suyu so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. Phoenix is so sentimental. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I've finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay, let's see if we can figure that out. And I think it's the I didn't miss any. I'm just not sure exactly what to present about it. I think just the jar itself, again, is my best bet. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. Yeah, she missed one. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. Someone else got there first. Here's what I think happened now. I think Gant got to the office first, maybe right behind Marshall even, actually saw what happened and decided he was going to blackmail Lana, kept a piece of evidence to himself, hid or left, and then came back in later. That's my best guess. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Yes, exactly. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. It may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Edgeworth's like, oh my god, no. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness, broke the jar and stole a piece. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? My favorite thing is to just saying, you're not implying it's Gant. And I'm like, I think Phoenix already said. Oh, maybe I'm imagining it, but... Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No. No. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here, he suddenly remembers. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence? But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister killed the victim. Wait a minute. If Gant got there first, did he kill Marshall? I still find the whole knife situation really weird. I bet he... But no, I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, anyways. Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Hey! Wait a minute. What if... we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. Huh? What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? No. Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's pin all of this fucking nonsense on Gant. Let's do it. I don't care if it's true or not. Let's do it. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Yes! Let's do it! Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Huh? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Is it in the books? Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Okay, so I went the wrong way. I forgot you could go left. It's all good. I don't think I actually, like, checked this. Aha. There it is. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh, poor Marshall. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. It's missing the hand. It's missing Emma's handprint. So Gant must have gotten there first. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Okay, crime scene photo taken from the case 2 years ago. Mr. Wright? That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? Yeah. Oh yeah. What's this? Right, with Emma's fingerprints on it. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. Emma, they're yours. What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Oh, she doesn't know that. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Ooh, here it goes. What? Hold it! Said someone. Oh, Gant's back. Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? So, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Yeah, Edgeworth is gonna say, you can't. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you're forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. And this must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Yep. We can't stand for it. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ugh. Ha! So what? You think I'm worried? Yes, I think you're worried. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Guess that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? The handprint. He knows it's Emma's handprint. He knows we know it's Emma's handprint. Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Yeah, but I don't think we have a choice. If you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? Well, first I save. I'm nervous. Better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? I think we have to. I mean, it sucks, but if the whole point of this is to get to the truth, you can't go hiding evidence. I mean, this is the whole, like, theme of this fucking trial. Let's say we'll show it. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Oh, no. Poor Emma. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Fuck. Fuck me. It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? Fuck's sake. They're Miss Sky's. Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See? I told you it was conclusive. However, but this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Did you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. Huh? You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. Yeah, I know. No. It appears we have our killer. No. What was I supposed to do? Not show it? Phoenix, no. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. What the fuck? I was supposed to hide evidence? God damn it. Fine. Fine. I hope this was before I did that. Yeah, what do I do now? I guess I hide the fucking evidence. I know. It's like, I know I shouldn't present it, but then I guess we're willing to take the bullet here. Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Oh, is this going to be about evidence law? What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. Okay, so I think we're gonna lead into him being responsible for blackmail by him demonstrating he knows what the cloth is and what it means. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Looks like part of it's been cut for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You know what? I hope for the sake of this police department that is true. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. I mean, I didn't to begin with. You know, it's alright. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. Now, is this considered testimony, though, under oath? Because he gave up that right. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dart convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? Duh, Phoenix. But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? Yeah, it's part of the blackmail. Oh my god, catch up, Phoenix. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I had the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Ha 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 ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. A foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. I mean, I did. And it was a bad idea. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Oh, God. I'm saving again. Okay. Do I show the evidence now? Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. I mean... But do I do this or do I do something else? Like, do I have anything else that I could use instead? I don't know that I have anything instead. You know, Gant wears gloves, so he doesn't leave fingerprints. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Ah, fuck me. I mean, I guess I have to do this. We'll see if it's a bad idea and maybe I should have withheld it again. You know, if so, we'll find out. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece out of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Edgeworth, dial it back. Dial it back like 80%. Ho 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 ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Here we go again. Very well. I'll tell you. You should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Is it? The person to whom the fingerprints belong is... Well, I mean, I can't lie. Can I? Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Sorry, Emma. Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it. How could you? You monster. I know she's talking to Phoenix. Sorry about this, Lana. Phoenix has a plan? Miss Skye, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Gant should know. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. All of your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? how it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Alright, come on, Phoenix. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? Is it the blood? Let me check something. Yeah, you see all the blood on his shirt? This was cut off before he died. Jesus, I did not notice that until now. Oh, Gant, you're going down. I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. It's this. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all that blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh! That piece of cloth. Yeah, there's no blood on it. Wait! There's no blood on it! Ah! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's really no doubt she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. But if he had done that, why would he have cut the piece of cloth off first? That does feel like an oversight. Anyways, remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Oh, sorry. It's finally all over. Objection. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Almost. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Ah, is this why we need evidence law? Order, what nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. Yeah. What's your excuse? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Ah, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Phoenix, that was perfect because it had to be shown that it was relevant first. This is like rule 2. And so at the moment there, it wasn't relevant. So he says, I don't have any I can present. God, I love it. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. That's not fair. Ho, 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 ho. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Yeah, we're not done yet. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? Here we go, let's do it. It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. I love it. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Well, what do we mean here? Because he purposefully concealed it, but it was not illegal. So I'm gonna save. I don't trust. I'm gonna say I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Grant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. Can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Hell yeah, evidence law. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... I mean, that's what they did. But, sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. Hoisted, unknown, petard. You gotta love it. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Yeah, that's why Phoenix really drove this home. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer, was you. And it does make the most sense in terms of motive for killing Detective Goodman. If Goodman had realized the evidence was falsified and was going to reveal that Gant was involved, he might have murdered him to help prevent that. Ha 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 ha! I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? I can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Skye involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs very well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. He has been going alone. He needs a friend slash lover. Phoenix, right? Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. What a weird guy. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Skye, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up to today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Skye. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Skye. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. He's not used to being thanked. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. He did. He did do. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Skye. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? Oh, she's got to be lighthearted now that the truth is out and she's no longer being blackmailed. And her sister didn't kill anyone. It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I've felt free of these heavy chains. Yeah. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. It's certainly longer than I thought it would be when it started. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, not guilty. Hell yeah. Confetti. Second try's the charm, right? I only got her convicted of murder once. That's not too bad. That is all. This court is adjourned. All right, defendant lobby number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Oh, Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Yeah, and she smiled. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Suffered every bit as much as I have. Done well. There she goes. You know, I did my best too. That's true. Lana didn't say anything to Emma. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Gumshoe. Every time. Oh. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty? Top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? Yeah, that's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Hey, Lana. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis? I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Oh. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. It's from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. Yay! Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Hello, Grumpus. Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. He feels like he should have seen it, though. It's too late for me. What? No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth? Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. See what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth... Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Join our team, Edgeworth. Join the defense. It's what you wanted when you were a kid. Come on, do it. Do it. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. Yeah, murder. And covering up evidence, etc. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true. Think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Oh, dear. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Evidence law? It's my best guess. That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership. Huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. Damn it! It's time for me to go. Shit, no! No, listen. We're gonna do something else. Okay, if it doesn't give me the chance, I'm gonna try again. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me. There's still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Okay, listen. No. Fuck out of it. No. Load. That's why I saved. Okay. Would have been able to find on our own. The piece of cloth? This was the thing that actually convicted him. Might mean something to you. I don't see how it... Oh, fuck me! No, I'm gonna figure this out. Find on her own. I'm this close to presenting the fucking blue badger. Oh, this one. We each had half of it. That's what it is. It literally was two halves that they put together. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be this. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half the evidence list and I had the other. apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Ah, still no reaction, the bastard. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there's still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, right? What I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you. See, that I love I'm not that much I love knowing about all of the Edgeworth Phoenix shippers because like that kind of line, I'll be waiting for you, even though it continues I'll be waiting for you in court is like such bait. I love it. I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Aww. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. See, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill. Of course. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection. Oh, this was so good. I have enjoyed all of this. Oh my goodness, there's more. Arranged a friend in Europe to take care of her, study under a coroner. This fair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Yes, I'm sure that's true. Managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. That's cute. I mean, in a way. I can't control the speed of the dialogue, so I'll have to... But yeah, I have really enjoyed this game. What's Gumshoe gonna say? Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, can't shake me off that easily. Perfect. Yeah, I really enjoy the puzzles. I really enjoy the characters. This has been great. Oh my god, Meekins. Guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir. Then I could just be like that Dick Gumshoe. Aim higher, Meekins. And this last trial has been really involved, but really interesting. I'm always impressed at all the ways the trial can twist and turn. And is that his partner who's guarding the entrance? God, I hope so. Where it feels like once it's revealed, it feels appropriate, but it's not obvious necessarily. But then there can be stuff that I do see coming, but it's like because they foreshadowed it. And I just find the balance of it really good and really impressive because that's going to be hard to do. So I am going to record more Phoenix Wright games. I just have to wait. Oh, Marshall. What is it? Can't you see I'm having a showdown with the steak lunch, I think? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seen one of the cards, of course. Looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Oh, right. Billy is his cactus. They don't need much water, which helps. I will record more Phoenix Wright. I just have to wait until I have time again because my work schedule is really busy. Oh, Angel. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to really dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after that trial. Let's see. What was his name again? Mr. Left? Oh my god. Anyway, he says he's been doing something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. I love the judge. He does not remember. He does not care. He's too busy. Yeah, so once I finish, either Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate, whichever one comes first, I will record more Phoenix Wright, and I look forward to it. So I will have a lot of fun with these games. I'm going to keep playing them. They're a great time. Very fun. Hey, Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. That's awesome. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. All right. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. I forgot about this guy. What's going on? Did Edgeworth leave? Edgeworth can't leave. Unless he's gonna come join us. I'd allow that. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Scientific investigation. Oh. Aww. Will they show us the picture? Yeah, look at how cute little Emma is. That's cute. And that's it. That was the game. Oh, so good. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next one, even though for me it will be months. That's all right. So that's it. Thank you all for joining me through this game. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you the next time. Next time I play Phoenix Wright or something else. Yeah. Bye.